management system is not just a simple application program. It consists of a lot of components actually. Okay. For example, it has the query, which means that when we submit the SQL, it will be processed. It should be compiled because it's a program language, and so on. So we will learn some part of the database management system component, including query optimizer, query processing, and transaction management, backup and recovery, and a couple of others that we will discuss about after the database design also. Okay. That's pretty much the end of the chapter 2. Then we have the 5 to 6 minutes. I'd like to introduce the project that you are going to do throughout the semester. Any questions? It's just the introduction, so don't worry about too much. Don't be serious. If you can get the overview of what is a database, it's pretty much enough. From the next class, we will talk about the details of each part. Okay? So, in this semester, for your practice, I'm going to offer the semester-long project. So it's a database designing project. So it consists of several different 5 phases. So it's kind of the pretending you are doing the real project, but it's not the real big project. It's a small, minimize the project. But there's a topic. Topic is given. So we are going to build a UV bidding system. You know the bidding system like eBay or any auction system. So, but it's based on the database. Then, topic can be various. You can implement like the car bidding system. It's okay, or any specific type of bidding, or the part-time job bidding system, or even any kind of the bidding system will be fine. Okay, so I strongly suggest to decide the specific topic of the bidding. That will be easier to manage. Okay, not general bidding system, unlike the eBay. So it will be huge project. Okay, then the limitation is that we are going to use the GCP, Google Cloud Computing Platform. So some of you guys already use the cloud computing, the others are not. So we will have the next week, first exercise lab for the GCP. At that time, I'm going to introduce what is the GCP, and each student will create the $50 the free coupon account. So everybody has, unfortunately, UB does not allow the UB, the account is the G Suite, so which means it's based on the Gmail account. However, the UB IT service, they block the developer option, which means we cannot use the GCP using the UB account, unfortunately. So, alternative way is each of them has another Gmail account, right? Anyone who do not have the Gmail account? I think the most of the students so far, I never seen the student who didn't create it. So your individual Gmail account, we are going to use, okay? So that is available. Also, another benefit is that if you didn't take my course, if you never activate, actually you already have the $300 free coupon for the GCP if you have the GCP at the Google account. So we are going to use the Google Cloud Platform, which means you are going to first create the database, MySQL database on the GCP. Okay, it's your own database, MySQL. Then, let's say this is the GCP, and you create the MySQL. First, from from your local machine, you are going to implement some database application, like the UV bidding system. UV bidding system can be either web interface or standalone system. It's up to you. But many of the students select the web interface, which means through the web server connect the database. This one. It's up to you. So, or you can directly connect the database from your Java application or the other application. The problem is, so it should be, this is one thing. Another thing is you need to connect, you need to fully the GCP-based database application, which means you need to create the virtual machine, and from here it can be a web interface or the standalone, connect the database. So fully the GCP-based database application. To do that, unfortunately .NET is not working on the full this one. So if you are using the .NET, for the local connection from the local machine, it will be possible. Okay, there might be no problem. But for the GCP implementation, you need to implement another application without the .NET programming. Okay, so otherwise, if you are using Python or the Java and the other programming languages that are supported by the GCP, all of them are fine. Okay, so please keep in mind that in case you are using .NET, you need to implement the two parts. One is the local connection, and another one is from the fully the GCP-based application. Okay, so this one actually does not support the .NET programming, so you need to implement two different things. So please think about the different program languages. So you need to decide. So in this project, what you guys need to do is we are going to use the GCP Compute Engine. Don't worry about what is the Compute Engine, so I will introduce in the next class. Okay, and we will use the MySQL. There are the Postgres and other server, but we will use the MySQL among them. Okay, it can be web-based or the standalone, but I think the web application might be easier to implement the GCP-based the programming. All programming that are supported by the GCP is fine. However, the main problem is the .NET. .NET is not supported in the full the GCP-based application. And the requirement is it's any kind of bidding system, but you can think about the minimized version of the eBay. So there is a user can either host and the bidder. Okay, so you can post the item and the number of users. So you need to design. Okay, there are two types of user: the admin and non-admin. Non-admin is a normal user, and definitely the admin user can do the overall administrative job. Okay, like the reporting and so on. The normal user can register, then can be both the seller and the bidder. Okay, then we need to post the new item, but I strongly suggest to specify the item that you can deal with in the bidding system. Okay, payment can be offline because we cannot implement the payment option fully, but I think the last time one of the students actually used Google Pay, something like that, to connect. But it's optional. You don't have to worry about too much real payment. Instead, it can be offline payment, or you can pretend the credit card payment. You can store just the information on the database, but you can just pretend the credit card payment. Okay, you don't have to really connect to the Visa, the credit card. Okay. Similarly, the tracking, the delivery. So you can create the UPS number. It's a fake UPS number, but you don't have to really create the UPS. So you are able to actually, if you want to, you can do that, but you don't have to. But otherwise, it's a fully minimized version of the eBay system. Okay. These are the minimal requirements. So more details is your job to design. As I said, the conceptual design is more the domain expertise. You need to design your own bidding system. Okay. Then, so first phase is the project initiation, which means that you need to define what you are going to implement in this system and understand you need to decide what interface, whether web interface, standalone system, and what program language you use. So keep in mind that there are two requirements. First, you can start this is overall thing. First, we are going to design and implement the database. Then we are going to implement the database system from the local, okay, using the programming, database programming. Then migrate to fully the GCP-based application. But at the time, if we are using the .NET, this is not possible, so you need to use a different program language. So it will be better to select the program languages that are supported by the GCP. So then phase one is kind of the proposal. So you need to specify the problem and make the plan of your project, which is due on the next week. So step one, step two, I think the step four. As you can see, there's no requirement for any computer science skill. Okay, it's just for example, it's a possible query in English. It's not database query or the database language, and any assumption. So it's just a design of your project. Okay, so by the next week, so why don't you complete the project? This is an individual, so each student should submit your own.
So by next week?
So January 26th is the next week. Next week Friday, I think. Okay. I usually allow the 2 more days, which means the end of the Sunday. Okay, without penalty. So due date is a Friday, but you are able to submit until the end of Sunday. Okay. So please. Try to meet at least you need to submit by the end of the Sunday. Okay?
Step 1, step 2, step 3.
So phase 1 is step 1, 2, 3, 4, I think. So why don't you read carefully? Then each and every step. So this phase will be similar as our schedule. Okay? While we are completing, for example, the next week conceptual design, so you are able to do the phase 2. But phase 1 is just without any knowledge of the database, anything, just a proposal. Okay, make the problem, define the problem, and make the proposal of your project. Okay, any questions? Yes.
In order to this step, do we need to do like any kind of format? Like, do we need to create like an actual proposal, or we can just like?
I do not specify any format of the proposal, just a reasonable report, the format. Right. So do not use the 20 or the 25 font size. Okay, but I'm not going to ask the format, the proposal, but focusing on the content. Okay.